Danny's beginning to understand the passion and volatility of Argentinian football.
Tell you what, they ain't shy of a tackle out there. There ain't no one pulling out of a tackle, I'm telling you. They're absolutely kicking each other to bits. You know, feeds onto the players, you know, the support. There's no two ways about it.
At half-time, the racing firm decide to provide their own entertainment.
They're all surging backwards and forwards, running about. I ain't got a clue what's going on. It's absolute chaos over there. They've got good voice, man. They're a proper firm and all, definitely. I'm glad I ain't in the middle of it.
But everything that has gone on so far is nothing compared to what is about to take place. A second Independiente goal at the start of the second half is the catalyst for a major incident. The racing fans are not happy. With half an hour to go, their team are facing humiliation at the hands of their bitter rivals. The match is about to come to a premature end. Something's happening at the racing end. It feels like trouble. The Racing Barra Bravas start throwing stones at the Independiente fans. The referee has to stop play. The police enter the racing end and fire tear gas. There's a standoff, and then the violence snowballs.
Racing have just absolutely kicked off with the old bill. Tear gas, smoke bombs, absolute chaos over there.
El jefe del operativo que ahí se acerca está preocupado. Vamos a ver qué es lo que él resuelve. Sigue jugando unos minutitos más para ver si dejaban de tratar de suspender el partido, que me parece que es el fin que ellos quieren lograr.
After 10 minutes, the escalating violence means the referee has no choice but to abandon the match.
So they've had to suspend it. The game's off. Players are gone, old Bill on the pitch. You know, I've never witnessed that before. Game's off. It's a shame, I was enjoying it and all.
Danny's been to countless matches in England and seen no trouble, but the first one he goes to in Argentina is called off because of a riot.
You know, just the old Bill ain't got no control over it whatsoever. It's still kicking off now, it's murders over there.
The thinking behind the actions of the racing firm is a twisted sense of loyalty and support for the team.
Racing's people, they think, okay, before they make a lot of goals, we suspend the match, okay? We finish the match, because here in Argentina, supporters think that they can play. This is a way of playing.
So, they've stopped the game and avoided a humiliation on the pitch. They believe they've helped their team. The police try and clear them by hosing them down, but they can't dampen their spirits. After all, in their minds, they've won.
When the storm clouds come, I'm already out of the rain.
It's been a strange day. Danny's witnessed firsthand the highs and lows of Argentinian football. It's obvious that what Bobote had said about the violence being on the decrease was far from the truth. The production line of football violence in the Argentinian factory is fully operational. The next morning, Danny discovers that the violence he'd seen at the match has sparked a major storm.
This basically says the war against violence has started. As of today, the Argentinian FA have had enough, and it stems from the Independiente racing game that we was at.
For the last 4 games of the season, away fans are banned from travelling to games, and any teams whose fans cause trouble will have points deducted.
It's mad that we've come right into the eye of the storm at this point. This is big news. I mean, this is all through the paper. It's like, it's massive, you know?
Everywhere Danny turns, the story is all over the media. There's lots of talk, lots of hot air.
The level of debate in Argentinian football is really, really high. You can sit and talk football and talk the structure of football for hours. But when it comes to making rational conclusions about the problems of Argentinian football, it never seems to happen.
This isn't the first time the authorities have threatened to clean up the game. Over here, they've seen and heard it all before.
No one wants to take responsibility for the problem. It's all someone else's responsibility. The directors will say this is the responsibility of the authorities. The authorities will say this is the responsibility of the directors. The players will say this has nothing to do with us. Who does it have something to do with?
It seems that everyone's talking, but nobody's saying anything, including the hooligans. And so Danny's worried that nobody is going to tell him what is really going on. Would you believe it? Danny turns up in Buenos Aires at the same time as one of the biggest crises in the history of Argentinian football violence. The game he's been to was called off because of a riot. Players have been threatened with death and away firms have been banned from travelling to games. He thought this scandal had messed up his chances of getting any more firms to talk to him. But despite the press attention, Danny's managed to find a firm that are prepared to meet him. But will they tell him anything? He's off to the most westerly barrio in Buenos Aires called Liniers, to the home of Vélez Sarsfield. Danny has never heard of them, but in 1994 they were world champions, beating the great Milan side of the 90s. They are not one of the most famous teams in Argentina, but they are a big part of the barrio, and so is their firm, the Pandilla. For these guys, the firm is like the family.
We don't have a chief. Here is democratic. We are friends. We grow up here in the club. We began to travel with the gang, and then we form part of them.
Here they are causing trouble after a game against Boca Juniors in April 2006. Now, they're not the most active firm in Buenos Aires, but Danny's grateful that they are going to talk to him. He's not quite sure what to expect, but to say he's in for a surprise would be an understatement.
Hooligans getting you on the pitch in their club. How mad is that? It's mental, it's insane. First of all, I want to ask you, how many of you are in your firm?
We are about 250 and 300, between that number. We don't have biggest enemies everyone are enemies. We don't have friends here.
Like Bobote at Independiente, they're not saying much about the violence, but at least they admit to being involved.
The fight here never organized. It's always spontaneous, okay? If we cross over, each between other, we fight. It's the only rule, okay? We don't organize anything.
Although the interview doesn't reveal much, everything else does. First of all, the club provide them with some refreshments.
Okay, see that they trade us very well, okay?
Never know the firms to have their own butler. How mad's that? Look, here he goes, look, the old butler, look, he's on his way. Up he goes, look.
After a couple of on-pitch beers, the boys take Danny inside to show him the trophy room. Now, are you following this? The firm are taking Danny to see the trophy room. Nobody stops them, no one asks them what they're doing. He's obviously with people of some influence.
They're obviously quite pally with the president. The president's just through there. I don't know if he's going to make an appearance or not. I don't know how it works.
The Pandilla seem to be more than just your average football firm. They've shown Danny around the place as if it's theirs. They are friends with the president and aren't just tolerated, but respected. It seems they are an integral part of the club. Could it be that in Argentina, the lunatics really have taken over the asylum?